Hey y'all, happy Monday. I'm not sure that I'm gonna post this video tonight. I might post it tomorrow. It just depends on if I get to it tonight. There's a lot of random things going on. I just got Landon to bed, and then Justin was at urgent care with Bailey because she has the flu. Yeah, and we're supposed to take a trip this week for Justin's birthday to New York. So it always seems to happen around the time we go out of town, and my poor mother-in-law has to deal with them being sick. Bless her. Anyways, I wanted to hop on today and talk about some things that have been on my mind recently. I think I might have mentioned it. I don't know if I have yet. But I was working out there for a little while and came to a screeching halt. And I wanted to talk about like procrastination and being good starters, but then making mistakes and then coming to a screeching halt and kind of getting overwhelmed and giving up on yourself. Maybe I'm talking to myself, but about 6 months ago, I had seen this thing on Facebook about the 6-week challenge. And, I had started to really feel unhealthy. My body wasn't where I wanted it to be. I guess coming up on the 34th year of life, I guess my body decided to say, hey, that high metabolism you had, we're taking that away this year. And that's kind of what happened. And so I wasn't able to eat like I wanted to eat anymore. And really, like, getting older, I should be eating healthier anyways, because mind, body, spirit, I didn't realize how much it all went into play physically. And how, physically, emotionally, how your body would be affected by eating better. So anyways, I went in and I checked it out, and, I wasn't fully in yet, but I went in there and I really felt connected to the girl that was talking about it, and she explained it. And for me, I was like, oh, this is a 6-week challenge. This is a quick fix, because any of y'all out there probably like a quick fix. And we're like, it's just like with treatment. I hear it all the time. Hey, is 30 days enough? It's like, no, it is not enough for your life to change. Your life, you can't change your life in 30 days. It's just not happening. They're just building a foundation, if that can even be built in 30 days. And that's why we really push in recovery, like long-term treatment, long-term mental health treatment, whether it's, going to a 30-day inpatient and then going to outpatient and having a psychiatrist, or except we're not even talking about that, but it really goes in line with that. And I think we as a society want a quick fix to everything. We want it to be fast. We don't want to have to wait for it. And we want it to be quick, and we want quick results. And anything worth anything in life is not quick. And I've proven that to myself over and over. But again, as I've stated in many other videos, is that I learned the hard way. So anyways, I go into and meet with this girl and ask, I was like, okay, so like I'm eating like Sour Patch Kids. Sour Patch Kids are life. Like we're talking like gummy bears, Swedish fish, like I'm eating candy all the time. And she's like, yeah, I mean, and obviously this isn't healthy. And there's some days, you guys, I would go the entire day without eating until the afternoon. This just wasn't healthy. And I wasn't starving myself. I just wasn't making time to eat proper meals to nourish my body. No wonder I was feeling restless, irritable, discontent, crazy, depressed, you name it, I was feeling it, because I wasn't nourishing my body with what it needed. I wasn't even getting like minimal nutrients in my body. It was just crap. And so I remember asking her, I'm like, so are there any cheat days? And this was after she gave me, I think it was after she gave me the list of foods that I was allowed to eat and how many times a day I had to eat, which was like mind-blowing in and of itself, because I'm like, first of all, I don't cook. Justin cooks. I'm probably going to starve. I'm going to have to learn how to cook, or I'm going to have to somehow talk him into helping me with this, or get somebody to help me meal plan. But like, where do the Sour Patch Kids fit in? I thought that I would just be able to like work out and still eat like crap. And I'm like, how many cheat meals are there? And she's like, none. And I'm like, oh, not even one? And she's like, no, not at least not during the 6-week challenge. And so, I walked out of there, and she said before, she's like, think about it. And I think I made the decision before I left. And she might be able to comment on this and tell a little bit more of how it went, because that was a while ago now. But I walked out of there knowing that I had made a commitment and I had made a decision. And with me, once I've made a decision, I'm all in. I'm going in. Like, I don't, and I have this thing in my mind, like if I don't commit 100%, it's like a BS excuse for me to not go at it 100%. But if I go all in, I'll go at it 100%. But it's really been my downfall, is that I'm either all or nothing. And I really want to learn to change that, of like giving myself some grace and saying, hey, you made a mistake, you got to pick yourself back up. And Justin would tell me that kind of stuff after the challenge, like, hey, just start over tomorrow. And it would just seem like such a huge task of what I had to do, that like baby steps just seemed impossible. It seemed impossible. And so I would clam up and I wouldn't be able to do anything, because I would be completely crippled with fear and just not be able to change and then internalize it all. So anyways, the 6-week challenge happens. It was a phenomenal challenge. I loved it. I made great connections with people and I felt awesome. I felt healthy. I felt energized. I felt happy. I felt content. I felt strong. And so, I always wonder when people are like, yeah, if you work out, it'll give you energy. And I'm like, it sounds pretty exhausting if you ask me. Like, I don't know. And I'm lazy. I love a good nap. Don't get me wrong. But like, I couldn't understand how if I exerted that much energy, how I would have more energy after it. And the reality is that they were right, is that it gave me more energy than I could have ever expected. And I wasn't depressed, and I was awake all during the day, and I wasn't having to take naps, and I wasn't getting exhausted quickly or even tired on an emotional, physical, and spiritual level. Like, I was motivated for life. And so I ended up getting second place in that challenge. And I remember the day I went to weigh in, I had cheated, like, if I'm being honest, I had cheated about 3 times during that challenge, because there's a place here that sells fried pies, and those things are life, y'all. What? Talk about my downfall. And any of my friends know about these fried pies. Oh my God. Okay, anyways, so I'm gonna have to detach from those fried pies at some point, because they are not healthy for me. So I had cheated a couple times, or a few times, and I had started to feel my head say, oh, well, it's okay, one more time. Oh, it's okay, one more time. And just to rewind a little bit, during that 6-week challenge, at about the 3-week mark of that challenge, I forgot to say this, I wanted to quit. And I went in there with every intention, and my mid 6-week weigh-in, or whatever it was called, every intention to quit. And when I got on that body scanner and saw the difference and talked to my coach, it was so much different than what the scale at home had said. And so I just continued. It like restarted me again, because I saw that I was making progress. And even though it was little baby steps, it was baby steps that were making a huge impact in my life. And so anyways, speed back up again to after the challenge. I won second place in the challenge. I did a great job. But once the challenge ended, I was like, okay, I can have cheat meals now. I'll get back on track later. I'll get back on track later. I'll get back on track later. And so when I had won the 6-week challenge, I won 4 free months at the gym. I won second place. So I won 4 free months at the gym. And more, I started to fall off, because I continued to give myself excuses. And I'm like, oh, I'm where I'm at. I'll go next week. Or, oh, I've got this, or I've got that. I've got this trip. I got to do that. And it just got further and further away, because with a trip, I wouldn't make it a point to go to the gym that was at whatever hotel I was at. I wouldn't make it a point to do that. So I started to see how I began making excuses for wherever I went, I wouldn't fit in working out. And that's really a lot of what I've done throughout my life is I've found excuses of how it doesn't fit. And I think that goes for all of us, is that if we make the time, if we make the space, then there, somehow becomes time and a place for us to be able to achieve those goals. And so, I kind of had this moment of clarity today because, there's other stuff going on in the world, or not in my world, where, I think a lot of people think that when you're doing well, that means you get to stop doing the things that you did to get there. And it's the opposite. Like, the things you're doing to get there is exactly how you got there. And I think that's true for me, is that if I expect to not fall back into a depression, which I don't know if I've mentioned, I'm starting to feel the depression come back. I'm starting to hear more messages in my head that are not healthy, that are telling me, oh, just take a nap, just sleep a little bit longer. Oh, you don't have to get up. Oh, you don't have to do that. Oh, don't get up. Don't get up. That's the main one I hear. And that's why I repeat it, because the bed is not a place for me that is safe during a depression, because I don't ever get out of it. And it becomes crippling to think about having to get up and function, because my head is literally weighing me down. It's almost like I can feel this pressure on top of me, just holding me down, like I can't get up. And really what I've found is it's the weight of the messages in my head telling me I can't. And I've got to get I've got to get that saying out of my head, I can't, because I won't be able to do it if I continue to tell myself that I cannot do this. And there's a time and a place to be realistic when you can say you can't do something, but for me, it's an excuse. And so, I hear frequently, oh, well, I decided to stop taking all my meds. I'm doing great. And it's like, and I'm not recommending anybody do anything, but one thing I do recommend is, like, if you're not a doctor, don't take yourself off your meds. You are not a doctor. You did not put yourself on those meds. You're probably not the best person to take yourself. Your thinking is what got you in this position in the first place. That one gets me. Or, oh, I could do 30 days worth of treatment. That is going to change my life. I don't need to do any of that, because why would I need to do that? I feel great now. And it's like, well, you feel great now, but you've got to keep it up. And that's only a foundation, because once you get out into the real world, guess what? You're going to follow yourself there, and you don't have the tools to function in real life society. You might be clean and sober, but like, life is going to hit you, and it's going to hit you hard. And it's even the little things. I mean, this is basic stuff that we as humans should know, but like, it's very simple. You continue doing what, makes you feel better, and you don't stop once you feel better. Because if we want to keep that long-term sanity or sobriety, or, if we want to keep that great job we love, we've got to continue to work hard. We can't just live on yesterday's stuff that we did, because that just doesn't work. We can't, people in recovery, like, we can't live on yesterday's meeting. We can't live on yesterday's solution. We can't live on yesterday's prayer and meditation. Like, it is a consistent daily process for us to wake up and choose to do something different that day. And if you're having signs of depression, I know how hard it is to get out of bed. But like, even if you talk to a friend that's like, hey, I can't get out of bed, where that friend or family member is tipped off to help you, to come over and help get you out of bed. Like, there are people out there that can be support systems to you, to help you move, to help you get those 2 feet on the floor to get up. And I have those people in my life where they're like, get up, come on, we're getting up right now. I know you feel like crap, but we're getting up. And so, I guess the message for today is just, don't quit. and start again tomorrow, and give yourself the grace to make mistakes. But the more excuses you give yourself, the more excuses are going to continue to play in your head to where you never end up doing what you want to do. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and I'll talk to y'all later.